Hi, good morning. My name is Natasha D, and I am the school counselor, well-being, emotional well-being counselor at Srimati International School. I take care of primarily students' well-being, their emotional support, and also for the whole school. I am in charge of their emotional support. That is one good thing about Srimati International School. We provide well-being to the whole school community, not just the students, even the staff welfare is very important for us. Now, well-being is a very important, very close to heart for me, the topic, because I have in my family, in my friend circle, a lot of people who have gone through a lot of mental health issues and concerns. So I have come into the mental health field in the last 14 years, and mostly because of my own personal reason. Now, the topic today I am going to be discussing about is about self-efficacy as a foundation for overall well-being. We all talk about self-care, taking care of yourself. But where is that self-efficacy comes in? How is self-care and self-efficacy are related? That is something I would like to talk about. Mostly when we talk about well-being, all about self-care. So now self-care is good. A lot of us have want to do certain things to improve our well-being. But now the self-efficacy, how does that come into practice? Now, holistic state of physical, mental, emotional, and social health. It's about feeling good and functioning effectively in life. That is self-care. We define about self-care most of the time. Now, when we go into the deeper understanding, self-care, what is self-care? We all know taking care in the morning, waking up, all of us are in a rush. We have to take care of, especially women, we take care of family. Then we are running to work and then come back home. Again, we are back into the family, taking care of our loved ones. In all this, how much self-care do we give for ourselves? How much time do we give for ourselves? Now, emotional self-care is something that most of us kind of put in the back burner. And self-care is not selfish. That is something I would like everyone to understand because from the young age, mostly Indian mindset is taking care of themselves is selfish. Even keeping that little extra time, to have a cup of coffee, we would, oh my God, this is something I could spend on doing something. How can I take that little time to go for a walk or go do something which I enjoy, take a dance class or a music class? These are all part of self-care because you are taking care of the emotional aspect of it. And it is important when it comes to the mental health. This is very important, how we spend time for ourselves. So I will emphasize again, self-care is not selfish. Imagine you want to learn or play a sport or uh, any instrument. Now, this is where I'm talking about self-efficacy. What is self-efficacy? Self-efficacy is you believing in something and you want to master that art or that skill. You're confident that you are able to play a guitar or an instrument or a specific sport or something that you're confident. But then there will be challenges, right? There are challenges like time. You may be having challenges like effort, motivation, all these things. Now, when you are able to overcome that challenge, that is where self-efficacy comes in. When you have a high self-efficacy, you will push yourself to go and achieve that part that will give you some kind of satisfaction, some kind of relief from your mental stress. You are going through your day-to-day rut. Okay. Otherwise, it's like 9 to 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. You wake up, you start with your whole saga of getting ready, rushing to work. Then once you go to work, there is so much happening at work front. Then again, then you are coming back at home Some of us travel a long way. Some of my teachers, I know they travel like 2 hours. And the 2 hours of them sitting in the bus, traveling to go reach home. You reach home again, you start with your home. You're taking care of your loved ones. Again, preparing food. It's so much happen. In that, where is the time for yourself? So maybe the weekends you can keep for yourself and say, okay, this is where I am going to push myself out. When I'm talking about self-efficacy, I myself, well, this weekend my son had pushed me to go and get a body mass index thing done. There it says like my body age is 2 years more than my age, actual age. So where I am, that is where my self-efficacy comes in. I need to push myself to go out and do the getting physically fit. Where because I am lean, thankfully I am lean, but then when I looked at, I got a reality check. Okay, my fat content is a lot more than my lean mass, you know. So that is where I got a reality check. Okay, my self-efficacy. I need to push myself. So this is what we call about the self-efficacy, pushing yourself. All the procrastination, what we are doing from achieving that goal, that is where the self-efficacy comes in place. So, power of believing in your ability to accomplish certain tasks. That is, if you simplify what is self-efficacy, power of believing in your ability to accomplish certain tasks. Now, connecting self-care with self-efficacy, when we talk about it a little more, how? How does self-care contribute to building self-efficacy? I had mentioned in the a little earlier that yes, you need to take out the time, motivate yourself, pushing your boundaries, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. That comes in power. Like when the self-care is our priority, we need to push ourselves to reach, motivate ourselves. That is the connection between the self-care and self-efficacy. The importance of balance and consistency in self-care for long-term benefits. That is another part of self-efficacy. It is very important. Okay, I have the motivation now because of my the report that I got. I want to start my workout regime routine. After 2 weeks, after 1 month, what happens? The balance, the consistency. I instead of me pushing in for like 5 days, even though I don't have time, then again that is stressful for me because I am putting in a lot of self-imposed stress where I want to um, achieve that going to gym. I want to tick off, but then that creates again a self-imposed stress, which I don't want. Self-care. I am trying to de-stress, but then if I'm going to pack too much into my life, then again that is creating a lot of stress. Now that is where the balance comes in. Starting slow, start slow, and be consistent. Be consistent in whatever you are scheduling yourself. Now, mental health is also um, connected. So high self-efficacy is linked to lower levels of anxiety and depression. How is that? When we achieve, when we put ourselves into achieving certain tasks, that okay, let me give another example where I like to have a beautiful home. I like to light a candle in the evening. I like to create an environment, a stress-free environment. Now, when we create that kind of environment for ourselves, that itself eases out that evening, a transformation of our evening, like stress, maybe preparing meals or setting a time for our kids, meeting certain deadlines. That when we have scheduled certain kind of self-care routine into our life, that also takes care of our mental health, emotional well-being. Now, power of self-efficacy, these are all the power of self-efficacy, mental health, emotional well-being, physical health, social well-being. In these areas, how are we being mindful about what we do and how our self-efficacy is being brought up? Well, self-efficacy contributes to emotions like happiness and satisfaction. How does that happen? So, like I mentioned, having a beautiful environment, we create an environment for ourselves, or spending some time for ourselves in the weekend for reading, or having that cup of coffee, taking that extra time, right? Taking that extra time in the morning to enjoy the cup of coffee or a tea or the rainy weather, the beautiful weather that outside, we are able to sit and listen to the birds chirping. Wherever you are, whichever environment you are, taking that time to be mindful, be in the present, right? Being in the present and enjoy things that we do. That is improves our mental well-being, emotional well-being, social well-being. When we come to talk about social well-being, it's about relationships. How do we enhance our relationship with our parents, with our colleagues, with our children, with our partner, with people around us? How do we do that? So it is very important how we are in a centered state so that we are able to move this side or that side to bring ourselves in sync with us. By bringing us in sync with ourselves, we are syncing in people around us. That is the social well-being. Now, this is something which I have recently come across linking to the Maslow's theory. When it Maslow's theory, where the last two, the basic needs in the pyramid of Maslow's theory, the last two basic needs, psychological needs, physiological needs and safety needs. Only when the physiological needs such as food, water, warmth, and rest, that is our basic needs. When we have enough of food, when we have well rest, when we have a place to stay, a comfort place to stay, then that is our basic need. Then it goes to the safety and security. So once the physiological needs are met, then we move into the safety needs. Now, this all comes into how do we connect self-care with self-efficacy and the master's theory? How are we linking all these three together is what I'm explaining now. Now, once the basic needs are met, then we go into the psychological needs. So we all agree, right? The basic needs are important for us to move into the state of well-being of the psychological need. So when you have a space, a comfortable space, that pushes our safety into our psychological needs. Okay, now I have a place to sleep, my family is well fed, my family is taken care of. That gives you a sense of security into the psychological needs. Now, the self-esteem needs, prestige, feeling, accomplishment, belongings, and love needs. These are also very important for our mental well-being. Only when we know our basic needs and psychological needs are met, right? This is a very important stage in our life. A lot of people who lost a job, they don't have that security of, feeling you are providing for your loved ones, you're providing for your family. Once that is met, then your improvement goes in to the security and safety. From there, it is going to the belongings or love and needs. Only when your stomach is full and when you have slept well, you can have that love and care for others. You are able to feel at ease. Okay, now my family is taken care. I feel good about your self-esteem. So I'm able to do these things. From there, then it goes to the self-fulfillment need. That is the as per the pyramid, that is in the highest, comes on the higher pyramid, self-actualization. Achieving one's full potential, inclusive, creative activity. Now, self-fulfillment needs is directly linked to your self-care and self-efficacy. So, if how we connect Maslow's theory is in the hierarchy, self-fulfillment needs is a self-actualization. And when you have this actualization of, okay, I am being, I am in sync with myself and with my community, with my family. This is where we all come in into a state where I'm loved, I can love, and I love myself. Without loving yourself, we cannot give that care to others. So my my things take back for you all is take care of yourself. It's very important without guilt feeling. Taking care of your emotional needs, it is very important. When you are happy, everybody around is happy. When you are in peace with yourself, everybody around is at peace. So if you have not started taking care without feeling guilty, that is the most important thing. When you are spending that little money for yourself, don't feel guilty. It is perfectly okay to put yourself there at a need at first. And I was going last Srinidhi, I sent out this weekly Friday music, I call it as. It started, the reason why I started is post-COVID. Everybody was so going demotivated. So many things were happening around us. A lot of us lost many loved ones. Things changed. Everything changed for us at that moment. Then to motivate people, that is when I started with the Friday music. Initially, it was about just sending out that one line, saying that, okay, this is a weekend, it's Friday. Now spend that little time for yourself. From there, it has become now it is like a small newsletter. I make it into uh, covering many aspects. So over the week, I monitor people, I talk to people. From there, the little bit of conversation that I have with them, I understand what each one is going through. Keeping that in mind, I try kind of make a little checklist for them. What is self-care and how they need to. Sometimes self-care is about doing nothing. Is you don't need to pack too much into your daily routine. Sometimes self-care is about taking care of yourself without doing anything, just sitting there, listening to music, and just you don't need to have a weekend which is packed with so many things. Many a times after a long break, people come and ask, what did you do this weekend? Did you travel? Maybe this was the time where I wanted to sit back and just have reflection of what my life is about. And that is when okay, this is where I can improve. This is where I can give more. So self-care doesn't mean that you need to pack a weekend with things. Self-care can also be about just being happy with yourself, being content. Um, with this, I'll leave it open for okay, now to conclude, to conclude the session, I would say, in essence, self-care is self-efficacy, which in turn empowers individuals to prioritize self-care, creating a positive cycle of good and well-being. So creating a positive cycle of it. So it is not about one day you're doing. It is about a cycle. Every day you're giving a little bit to yourself to take care of yourself, to be in a better place, and to take care of your mind, to take care of yourself. Being that little bit of every weekend or every day. So if you are, when I reflect again on me, what is that little thing that I changed in my life is practicing self-care. For me, without having that 20 minutes of meditation, I cannot end my day. So that is after the meditation, I have this reflection of how was my day? What did I do that little that to make a change in anybody's life around me? How judgmental was I? So these are small reflective questions I ask myself at the end of the day. And what I am working towards is being lesser judgmental. We all are judgmental about ourselves. We are all judgmental about things around us. So if I can reduce my judgmental um, thoughts about people, about environment, about everything, about myself. That is something I'm working on, lowering my judgment about things and being non-judgmental. Love, just be loving to others. when we do things, even about self-care, or when you are doing things, let it all be from a perspective of love. When we do things out of love, everything it's a smoother flow, and it is everything is in union. And I would keep now leave it for question and answers at this point of time. If they have any questions, let's go ahead with some questions.
Thanks, Miss Natasha. Very well explained, ma'am. Surely it's self-care fuels self-efficacy. Yes, ma'am. Wonderfully explained. As I don't see any audience, I, as a moderator, will ask you a couple of questions, ma'am.
Okay,
If you can stop sharing the screen so that, we can have a better view of you. Thank you.
that's right.
Thank you. So the first question, ma'am, I have received a couple of questions. This is from another speaker who is also a child counselor. Uh, so her question is, in your role as a child counselor, how do you see self-care impacting a child's self-efficacy? Can you provide examples from your experience?
Yeah, so this is something I did. Maybe in our school we had called Engage. There's a conference we had 2 years ago. So there I presented the self-efficacy with keeping teachers in mind. So in that, I was talking about the Pygmalion effect. So as for Pygmalion, the art, he wanted so desperately the art to come alive, and he was praising, I mean, he was worshiping the god, so for the art to come alive. So it is his the passion. He wanted his art to be alive, where the art became a human being, right? So from a teacher point of view, if a teacher or a counselor wants a child to do best, and you go with that positive outlook without having the judgmental attitude of the okay, this is how the child is not going to do well. So when the teacher or a counselor think highly about the child, only the positive way, oh, my child can do, my child is the best. When we go with that kind of attitude, that is self-efficacy. When we are connecting there, when we go with that attitude, yes, the kids can do much better. They thrive.
Wow, nicely explained, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, because for a second we lost you. Yes. So, ma'am, how do you incorporate self-care practices into your counseling sessions with students? What strategies have you found to be most effective?
So with a lot of students, it's not that everyone coming with a lot of baggage. There are a lot of kids who come with a lot of baggage. Now, most of them, they are not happy with their, let's say, body image. They can't even. So in my, I'm using my principal's room as because of the little bit of disturbances that I'm having in my office. I'm using another room. But in my room, in my counseling room, I have a mirror on the side. A lot of people come and say, "Oh my God, you have a mirror in your room." I said, "Yeah, it's purely therapeutic." So the mirror is behind me. When the child comes, when I start having questions, when I discuss with things with them, I know the child has got a lot of self-esteem issue. I ask them to go to the mirror and look at yourself in the mirror and look into the mirror and say 5 things that you can identify in yourself. Something good. Trust me, it is not easy. They don't look at into them. Sometimes there are children who can't even look at themselves into the mirror. They find it so difficult to look at themselves, the reflection of them. So that is where my self-care starts, making them believe who they are. It is not just what you see there, the inside of them. That is where they have qualities, right? So I make them understand what are the qualities in them. It is not just about this. So when they bring that part, somewhere I kind of weave in self-care into this and make a better person.
Nice, ma'am. Very good strategy. So, ma'am, in any field like we face challenges in any job. So, could you discuss any challenges you have encountered in promoting self-care among children and how you have addressed these challenges, ma'am?
So, for me, most of the time when I'm dealing with children, it is parent is the challenge.
Okay.
Because whatever I'm learning I do with them here, when they go back home, if it is not followed the same thing, so that is where it has to be a triangle method. It has to be parent, the school, the counselor, whoever from they are working, and the child. So when we work on a triangular method, things make it much easier and there will be some change. Change is not something you can visible overnight. It is a process. It is an ongoing process. There are times kids who have, I'm with Trinity, this is my fifth year. I have interacted with students from like in the 5 years. Last year, some of the students who graduated. It is, I've seen that with some of the students I've worked, it was a gradual process. And when they graduated at the MIP 5 or DP2, I see them as the shown, the metal that just really shining. It has been over a process that they have changed and changed and changed and come out. It's challenges that they have found.
Okay. So, talking about the parents as a challenge, so what do you think? What role do parents play in supporting self care and consequently self efficacy in children? How can they be effectively involved?
Parents have the power to change the children whichever way they want to. It is the parent that um, a child who's growing up, it is the parent as their first teacher. They look at the parent and say, I want to be like that. I want to be. They may not say it, but children are like sponge. They are absorbing every behavior of parents. Parents are not aware of it most of the time. I can say that from my personal experience. I have 3 kids. So I'm talking from my own experience where most of the time we don't realize the children are watching. And when they grow up, when they become adults, they are reflection of their parents.
Mhm.
So parents have the power to make the child whatever they want. So along with teachers, along with counselors, it is parents also play a major role in developing the personality of the child.
It's a kind of a teamwork, the child, parent, and
Exactly, that's right.
right, makes sense. So, ma'am, looking ahead, what future developments or changes in the field of psychological well-being do you expect to approach self-care and self-efficacy in children or adults, ma'am, in general?
In future, when we look at it, it is consistency, planning, and not giving up. So this is what I would give as my little bit of yeah. So when we start self-care, for example, I was talking to my daughter about it. So she said, you know what, every day, I mean, just washing clothes and putting laundry, this is like, I said, this is an ongoing thing because we are, I mean, I may not be in the here as a context, but I'm just saying everything is an ongoing process. Just because we had a bath today, it's not that we are not going to take a bath tomorrow, right?
Right.
So if you start with a meditation process, I did meditation today, or if for people starting with the yoga, with the gym, with self-care practices, let's say journaling, forgiveness, all these practices which we start in our life, it should be consistent and it should be an ongoing process. That is what I would say.
Right.
Anything you want to achieve, it is not something that you just do it and it's like a diet. If you, it's diet is something, it's a you want to get into a good body, you want to lose weight, you want to stay in that regime. It is a lifestyle change. So just like the way you adapt a diet program, as a lifestyle change. Same thing, self-care and self-efficacy is also a lifestyle change and ongoing.
It's a practice, right, ma'am?
That's right.
Yeah. Finally, ma'am, what advice would you give to parents and teachers who want to foster both self-care and self-efficacy in the children they support?
Be patient. Be patient yourself and be patient with others around. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody grow in different pace. So give time. Everyone find their path, and especially with parents, I would like to give one small, I wouldn't say advice, a little bit of. So we don't own our children. There is no point in trying to control our children. No, being a helicopter parenting, it doesn't work. No matter how much you allow the child, it's like some trees are being, what do you call it, pruned and set, cosmetic changes that are done to trees, and the trees which are growing wild. The trauma that the tree that being pruned, that, it goes through a lot. But you allow your child to grow in his own way, at own pace. They grow beautifully. So give them time and space, sit back, don't control and don't drive their journey. You be there for them. Children always need the support, but we don't think for them. We shouldn't think for them, or we shouldn't speak for them. Let the child speak. Let them make decisions. So again, I will go back to my personal experience long, long ago when my son was young. He wanted to bake cookies for a bake sale. So this person who was conducting the bake sale asked, I said, okay, my son, he is baking. I would like to bring him and come. They did again, my son baked cookies. But when I went for the bake sale, my son was not there and the cookies were not there. So the person asked me, what happened? You were supposed to bring your son for the bake sale. I said, you know what? Yeah, he baked cookies, but it didn't look beautiful. It was not present out. So this person asked me, who are you to say that? He asked, like, did you say no or did your son decide? I said, no, I told him not to bring it because it was not okay. So he asked, who are you? It is his creation. It is okay. Why me? That does it. Even now, it hurts me when I think about it. Oh my God, how never since then he have not baked it. He have not done any more cookies, or he have never done. I never thought about it, but later on when I sat back and I was like I said, the reflection. I do a lot of reflection every day, and then I realized, oh my God, my word of this is not good had disappointed him and put him off from doing something which he enjoyed. So, as parents, we be there for them as a background support. Let them do, let them make mistake. That is how they learn.
Right, ma'am. Wonderfully explained with the real life examples, your personal examples, and shared your experiences too. Very informative session, ma'am. Thank you for the talk and for patiently answering all the questions. And I also thank the other speakers who have sent me a couple of questions, very good questions. I hope you have enjoyed giving a talk on our platform. Anything else you want to mention, ma'am?
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was beautiful, and this is my first online talk. I hope it was I know there are various I could fix it,
It was
but
wonderful.
thank you for giving me this opportunity. It was
Thank you.
amazing, and you've been really helpful sending me those reminders, and it was thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a great evening.